All right, family. Good morning. This is Stephen A. Keller, aka Dr. Positive. Welcome to Liberia Shall Rise. Today's topic is trust and the rise of Liberia. Trust and the rise of Liberia. I'm gonna play some music while we wait for a few people to join. I'm gonna play some music so that we can have a few people joining us this morning. Hey, brother Brendan, welcome, brother. Let me play some music while we wait for a few people to join. So please share the video. I'm going to do the same too. Share it on your page so that we can have more followers. So let me play some music. I'm going to be playing Dakon J. They lied. The people lied to us. Welcome, Pastor Delia. Thank you for joining this morning. I'm about to switch to music so we can have more people joining us this morning. The topic is trust and the rise of Liberia. And a key song that it will start the show today is Dakon J song called They Lied. I'm going to start that this morning so we can get this show kicking. So again, thank you guys for joining. Let me go to music and then we can get started.
Political arena. But the question is, why do you want to be in Africa? The shortest route to ill-gotten wealth is political leadership. If you want to get wealth without working for it at all, join African politics. My people, where you at? Where you at? Waiting for you stop or start sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands. Come on. I know you're sleeping. I gotta go some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the ball. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that let us call our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now you need to deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrates us. So why does you lie? Why does you steal? Why does you allow the sentences to be? See, we just tell you that why we vote for you. But you screw us, you use us a little, abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corner. They don't want to trust. My people don't want to hope on. My hope that I have, I can hope on. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they do a poor? But they too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray? They have enough of time, but yeah, they scared they delay. People suffer. No work, but people crying for hunger. Your vision and your mission, your intention for the nation is poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But then the question that we ask, they lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. Government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corner.
All right. Again, thank you guys. Welcome again to Liberia Shall Rise. Today's topic is trust and the rise of Liberia. As we usually do, I would like to do a few administrative stuff before we start the program. Before we start the show, let's share the video. Invite your friends, invite your neighbors, and tell them Dr. Positive is here. Now, this show is going to be a very short one, but straight to the point, right? Trust. We're going to look at the definition of trust, and then we're going to look at 3 levels of trust. Now, there are few things going on in our society that I want to address today based on trust. So we'll first look at the definition of trust. What is trust, right? What is trust? Okay, according to the dictionary, it says a belief in the reliability, the truth, the ability or strength of someone or something. So you're taking your mind, putting it into somebody, giving your whole heart to that person and say, I trust you. I believe you're going to do this for me. I'm going to trust you that you're going to come true or you're going to fulfill your promise. That's why I used Dakonje's song, because he talked about trust. He said, we place our trust in the government, but they lie to us. The people fool us. Why? The government has betrayed us. So this is why I think that I want to thank Dakonje for making this song, because without this song, I don't think my show was going to be worth it or going to make a point. But this is the kids in Liberia using their talents, like in music and other things, and making these songs. So today's topic, like I said, is trust and the rise of Liberia. Why is trust important in the rise of Liberia? Why do we have to trust our political appointees? Why do we have to trust our civil servants? Why do we have to trust everybody in the society in order for Liberia to rise? And I'll look at the second definition for trust. This is in law. In law, they said trust is a confidence placed in a person by making that person the nominal owner of a property to be held or used for the benefit of one or more others. Right? So basically, in law, they are saying that trust is placing your trust or placing confidence in somebody. So when you place some confidence in somebody, you say, I believe in you. I know that you are going to make this possible for me. I know that you're going to hold my back. You're going to get my back. So the Liberian people have placed their trust in our politicians. The Liberian people have placed our trust in the civil servants. The Liberian people have placed their trust in teachers. The Liberian people have placed their trust in our government officials, hoping that they will do the right thing for us, that when we elect them in offices, that they are going to be there to do the right thing for us. So the question here is, do you think that trust is essential in the rise of Liberia? Do you think that trust is essential in the rise of Liberia? Oh, my brother, Sonnyboy, brother Derek said, Stephen, we need you in Liberia. Eventually, brother, I'm working on it. Hopefully someday I'll be in Liberia. But let's focus on the topic this morning, and we'll get to that part. All right. Now, in Dakonje's song, right, before I go into the topic, in Dakonje's song, he said a few things that I'd just like to highlight here. Right. And again, this morning, you can actually call in at 682-503-9906 or send me a request and I will add you to the show. So that's all you have to do. Just send me a quick request and I'll add you to the show if you want to participate on video, or if you're shy of video and you just want to call in, let me know and I will actually invite you. I will take your call at 682-503-9906. Again, the number is 682-503-9906. So let me just post that number, then we can continue. All right. So the number is 682-503-9906. 9906. Okay. All right, folks, that's the number. Okay, Ms. Robert said, absolutely essential. We just hope in God first, then in the elected one second. Indeed, that is true. That is true. And I was actually looking at Dakonje's song, right? In this song, that's what I'm saying. You know, when we listen to these songs, the songs these kids are making in Liberia, or the songs that are played around the world, it is important that you listen to the words of the song. I know back in the day when we used to get ready to sing, in school, you would tell the audience, say, my song is entitled, Mary Don't Cry. Please listen to the words of the song and not my voice, you know. So I took that advice very seriously. So every song, I try to listen to the words in the song, because the words that are written by a person, by an artist, is very essential. So that's going back to the topic, trust in the rise of Liberia. In Dakonje's song, right, he said, they lied to us, the people fool us, right? That's the first part of the song. The song title is They Lied. Then he said, the government betrayed us. The government betrayed us. We are tired with their lies. We are tired with their promises. He said, no one to trust, no one to hope on. That's the kids of Liberia saying this to their government. My hope that I had have been broken. He said to the government, your intention, your vision, your intention for this nation is poor. These are powerful words. Your vision, your intention for this nation is poor. So this is before the George Weah government. So I want to be fair for the government of George Weah, the George Weah-led government. But these are songs that was made during the Ellen reign, during Ellen Johnson reign. So these are songs that were written during that time. So those are things that were happening. So these are the questions this kid is asking. And today's topic, I said, trust in the rise of Liberia. Do you think that trust is essential in the rise of Liberia? Now, I said I was going to look at three categories of trust, right? The first one we want to look at is trust placed in the government, right? Trust placed in the government. Why is this important? Then the next one we want to look at is, I know the government officials include civil servants, but last week, our last show, we talked about, civil servants, why it was important for them to play a key part in the rise of Liberia. And today, we're looking at three levels of trust. We said trust placed in government officials, which are civil servants basically. And then I said trust placed in civil servants. I'm looking at the janitors, the people that are considered like the receptionists, the executive assistants. Those people are on the lower level as civil servants as well. And then finally, this one is big, my people. Trust as it relates to diaspora Liberians and Liberians at home. Trust between Liberians in the diaspora and Liberians at home. That's what we're going to end the show with today. So please call in. Let's discuss. I want to know your point of view. What do you think we need in order for Liberia to rise? Do you think we need to rebuild that relationship? Do you think we need to build a trust between us Liberians in the diaspora and people at home? So these are the three things I'm going to be going with first. So let's start with the trust placed in government, right? Adam Smith said, at its core, right, trust and empathy are the root, the essence of any moral society. Adam Smith, again, I'm going to repeat that because I love this oven so much. I know somewhere in his grace, he said, thank you, Stephen, for keep reminding people that what I said 100 or so years ago is still important to today. So he said, Adam Smith said, trust, at its core, trust and empathy are the root cause, the essence of any moral society. He said, at its core, trust and empathy are the root cause, the essence of any moral society. So now this is for the government. Trust placed in the government. I'm looking at 3 levels of trust today. Trust placed in the government, trust placed in basically the civil servants and everybody that are in the society, and then finally trust between Liberians in the diaspora and Liberians at home. How can we use these 3 levels of trust? How can we build trust in these 3 levels of our society, of our country, to help Liberia to rise? So basically, according to Adam Smith, he said, in order for a society to rise, in order for a society to develop, right? In order for a society to develop, you need to have trust. So basically, when they say trust, if we elect an official and say, we want you to be the one to take care of our community, help our community develop, that means people are placing their trust in you as an official to say, guy, our whole life, we depend on you. So without you, our community is not going to prosper. So we need you to do everything right. Be our back. Fight for us. When you are in the Senate, when you guys are making laws, make laws that will benefit us as a society. So this is why trust in the government is important. So we elected George Weah. Now the Liberian people place our trust in George Weah. The election was between George Weah and Boaka, but the Liberian people chose George Weah, and they said, we trust you, George Weah. We trust that you're going to make Liberia better. So our trust has been placed in you. Our trust has been placed in you. So we need you to do the best for Liberia. So that trust, most politicians break that trust. And the reason for this show is we are saying that it is important for politicians, for people in government to keep their promises to the people. It's important for them to keep their promises. If you promise that you're going to help build roads, make it possible, let that road be built. If you promise that you're going to help fight corruption, make it possible. Make sure that everybody are accountable for what they are responsible for. Make sure that everybody are accountable for whatever responsibility they are given. Again, my folks, welcome to Liberia Shall Rise. This is Stephen E. Keller, a.k.a. Dr. Positive. Now, the topic today is trust in the rise of Liberia. I just need a little bit of thumbs ups or something to let me know that you guys are hearing me, because I've been talking. I haven't seen people giving anything yet, so I don't know if you guys are hearing me or not. But please just give me 1 or 2 thumbs up. Let me just make sure that you guys are hearing me, and then we can continue the show. So please, Benigo, Senier, Miss Soma, please let me know you guys are hearing me, please. All right. All right, folks. So basically, let me see. Okay, thank you, Miss Rava, thank you. All right, so back to our topic. Basically, the Liberian people place their trust in the government, asking the government or those that are running offices, say, listen, we trust that you're going to do the best for our people. Without trust, no society can prosper. Adam Smith said trust is the essence of any moral society. He means, in simple language, he's saying that if people are making concession agreements and things like that, and they don't do it properly, the society is going to be impacted greatly. So every decision made by a politician have an impact on the growth of the community, have an impact on the growth of the society. So Adam Smith is saying that in order for a society to develop, in order for a society to rise, right, you need trust. For example, look at us in the U.S. or look at us in the diaspora. When you go to work, right, they give you responsibilities, and and you are entitled, you are obliged basically to complete whatever task you are appointed. You can, even if some people work from home, right? Some people work from home. They don't have to ever go to their offices and things like that. But they are trusted in order that they're going to complete whatever task they are assigned. So as our government officials in Liberia, people not checking your back to say, oh, whether you're using the money that is allocated for this project for the right reason. So that's why we need trust. So in order for something to be possible, in order for road development to be possible, in order for schools to be possible, the trust that the Liberian people have placed in you as government officials is key, that you implement or you fulfill your promises in making sure that everything you do for Liberia, every document you sign for Liberia is going to be something that is going to benefit the country. All right. So on the next part of this is we said we're going to look at the civil servants. Now on the societal level, right? On the societal level, it's not only those who rule from the top, right, that we can place our trust in. For example, when you look at a simple thing like getting a birth certificate, I went to Liberia in 2011 to get my mom. When I went, it took me 1 month and a half, right, to get a simple birth certificate for my mother. The reason being was because I refused to pay bribe to those at those offices. I went to the office, the Ministry of Health, to get the documents. And when I went, I paid my $50 that was required, right? So I trust them. I said, I'm paying $50 for you to give me health certificate for my mother. We had an appointment at the embassy and they needed that document. So when I paid that money for 1 month and a half, because I refused to pay bribe, that trust was broken, right? No, they didn't give me that document until a week before I left Liberia, right? So basically, the purpose for which I needed the document, it wasn't met. We went to the embassy and my mom got accepted and things like that, but I never took the document that I went for because I refused to pay bribe. So it took me a month and a half. One of the ministers had the guts to tell me that, do you know where I got my degree from? And things like that. And I said no. So he told me he went to Cottonton University. So basically, I had to pay his tuition because I refused to pay bribe, because I refused to pay him for his level of education. He refused to give me my document. He refused to sign my document. He told me he was not going to sign my document on gratis, right? And these are things that, you know, are affecting the society at every level, right? It's not only at the highest level of government that we have to look at trust. Trust have to be built at every level of society, whether it's just getting a simple driver license or a full like signing a contract with another foreign entity. You know, at every level of government, we have to have trust. So if people pay their $50 and say they want a birth certificate, if you guys do it constantly, right? If you guys do it constantly, if the government, if those people working at that level focus on completing that document constantly, that's more money coming to the Liberian government. If about 1,000 people pay $50, that's $50,000. That's 500,000 right there, right? And in order for the government to rise, you need that money to come in constantly. But the fact that these offices are not accomplishing their tasks, like it's a simple $50. If you pay that $50, it goes to the Ministry of Finance because they at that office are not getting any money. They refuse to get your document. Even though the document might be processed already, it's sitting there because you don't pay anybody. You didn't pay bribe. They refuse to give you that document. And all these things are impacting the government at the higher level, because the fact that more people could go over there and get document, they are refusing to go. Right? They are refusing to go because they said, I'm not going to go. I don't need birth certificate now, or I don't need driver license now because it's going to cost me more than $200 to get a simple driver license. So why should I waste my time to go and get a driver license? In the U.S., you just go to the motor vehicle and you pay your $25 or $50 to get your driver license, and right there, they take your picture, everything. Within the same day, you get your driver license. In Liberia, to get a simple birth certificate, it takes you, they said 2 weeks. And if you don't pay bribes, it takes you a month and a half. right? That's very sad for us to have a society that doesn't even care about keeping their part of the promise. If they make promise to you that when you pay money, you're going to get certain service, that service should be accomplished. That service should be performed. You understand? But in the fact, the mere fact that you have these things that are going on, and simple services cannot be performed for what it's worth, right? Simple services, and these are the things that are impacting our community. And these are the things that are impacting our government. And in order for Liberia to rise, in order for Liberia to prosper, in order for Liberia to do well, right, we need these simple things taken care of, because the government could get millions of dollars just from processing driver license, just from renewing birth certificate, just from renewing passport, just from renewing any simple document that is the government provides. Just making the process right to make that thing possible will help Liberia to rise. And that's what we need, trust, so that when people pay their $5, even if it's $5 for a service, the more people that you have coming to that service to obtain that service, the more money the government make. The more, so at every government office that renders some form of service, we have to have trust that everything that is done, or every time people pay their money for them to get certain things, it should be accomplished. So finally, like I said, this was going to be a rather short show today. So I did a little bit of not much on this topic, so I just want to cut it short and to the point. Like I said, it was going to be something that was just going to be to the point, straight to the point, instead of talking it a lot. Because definitely, if you look at the definition of trust, placing your confidence in somebody, right? Placing your confidence in the government that they're going to do the right thing is very important to the rise of Liberia. And I didn't know how to spread it out to make it, because too much talking, sometimes it doesn't make make your point come out well. So I just wanted to go straight to it and ensure that people can hear this and be able to just share it with whoever they can, because it is important for us to trust each other, right? It is important for the government to be trusted. It is important for people to trust the government in order for our government to do better. So now, another thing I said was the trust between Liberians in the U.S. and Liberians at home. Why is this important for Liberia to rise? Why is this important for Liberia to rise? Now, imagine some of us in the U.S., right? We work 9 to 5, 7 to 11, 11 to 7 in the morning, right? You work, you have brothers and sisters at home, you have friends, relatives, and everybody at home. And you come up with money and say, listen, guys, I'm sending you $100 today. Even if you don't tell them to make business, I'm thinking from my own little mindset that in order for Liberia to rise, right, the relationship between we and our families back home has to change. In that, there have to be a level of trust. Some people just send money to their family to enable them to better themselves. But if somebody send money for you and you say you go to school, use that money for your school fees, use that money to start a business, use that money to improve your life. Because life is not forever. Nobody is assigned on this earth to live forever, right? So if your family members trust you and say, oh, listen, I'm sending money for you to go to school. Go to school. If your family member or even your friend is sending you money to say, I'm sending money for you to go, for you to do business, do that business, because it is in those things, those little things that we all do as a society that is going to help Liberia to rise. It's those little things that we all do for each other that is going to help Liberia to rise. But if people place their trust in you, send you money and say go to school, and you don't go to school, within the next 10 years, you're still going to be a liability on that person. You understand? So it is important. It is very important for you as for those in Liberia that trust should be built, that whatever businesses you and people are partnering with, right, that you accomplish that task. Now, I don't know how true this is, but the case from Minnesota where this guy, they said he traveled to Liberia after sending his brother money to do business and things like that. And then all of a sudden, they said him and his brother had a fight. And when he got there, the brother didn't accomplish any task that he asked him to accomplish. And this guy was furious because it's painful that after spending all your money, right, you work 9 to 5. Some people work 2, 3 jobs, my people. And once they work 2, 3 jobs, they trust people at home and say, listen, buy me a land, build me a house, and in 2 or 3 years, I'm going to be coming home to live. And then after that 2, 3 years, you come home and there's nothing, absolutely nothing, you know. It's not even happening in Liberia alone. When I was on my way from Ghana in 2013, this lady I met, Mary, I remember her name because we stay in touch. Mary said that she sent almost $20,000 to $30,000 to her brother, right? For her brother to build a house for her, and he would send her fake pictures that he was building houses. And by the time this lady went there, on her way back, that time she was telling me she went to Ghana in 2013, and when she went, to her dismay, there was not one single thing. This guy had built himself houses and everything, and he never had anything to show this woman. She was so devastated, but it was her brother, so she never did anything to him. But she said to me that she was no longer sending money to that person for that person to build, for that person to do anything for her. So the same applies to Liberia. People, listen, if you are in Liberia today and you have a family member abroad, whether in the U.S., whether in Canada, whether in Europe, whether in Asia or anywhere, if that person sends you $50 and say buy pepper and sell pepper, that is very, very important. That person is either putting a bill on hold, that person is putting something on hold, right, in order to help you. So, my appeal to those in Liberia, that no matter what it is, no matter what you do, whether your family member is sending you millions of dollars or even sending you a simple dollar, we need you guys to help us to make Liberia better, because whatever you guys do for us, whatever you guys do when in order to help us succeed, is going to help Liberia rise. Because you imagine this. Liberians abroad send millions of dollars to Liberia. If you guys were taking that money to do businesses, people complain that Liberians don't own businesses. If you guys were taking that money to do businesses, can you imagine how much properties Liberian will own in that country? Can you imagine how much businesses Liberian will own in that country? But yet still, we have all this money coming in. We probably send more money to the country than even donors can give to Liberia, right? The foreign aid, it doesn't equate to the amount of money that Liberians abroad give to Liberia, but yet still, Liberians are still poor. Why? What is going on? What is wrong, right? What is different from the Fula man that come to Liberia with only $1 in his pocket, and he start a waiter market? Right? He started a waiter market. From that waiter market, he goes to selling cigar. From selling cigar, you know that Fula man now have a store. Before you know it, you have 2, 3 stores. Why can't we implement the same thing, Liberian people? Why can't we do the same thing, right, to help our community get better? Why can't we do the same thing? Why can't we improve our own communities? Your people are sending you money. Your people are helping you. Even if it's $100 somebody send you, don't say, oh, that only $100 that person will send me every day. That $100 there, what can it do for me? When somebody send you money Friday, Saturday, you go party. Right? You guys have to stop that. In order for Liberia to rise, in order for Liberia to prosper, in order for Liberia to develop, we need you to start putting money in the right place. We cannot sponsor your social life. We cannot sponsor your party lifestyle. We cannot sponsor your flamboyant cannot sponsor these things for you any longer. Right? We cannot sponsor these things for you any longer. It's very difficult. I'm speaking from experience, and I'm speaking from a Liberian in the diaspora. As hard as we work, we need you to help us in Liberia. Because if you don't help us, we are going to get old in this country. And you guys complain that, oh, because that person in America, that's why they think they know it all. No, it's not like that. We're struggling. We go to work every day. When your bills in America, you have every little thing. You have insurance, you have rent, you have, even if you buy a house, you still have to pay mortgage. It's not like Liberia. Once you build a house, the house is for you. You don't even, I think if you even pay taxes to the government, it's once a year. It's not close to what we pay every month. Even if you pay off that house, you buy the house at zero and you owe zero balance on that house. You have to pay taxes on the value of your house. Basically, if your house worth 100,000, you have to pay taxes on 100,000 for that house for the rest of your life. And if you refuse to pay that taxes on that house, the government can come and take that house from you. So that's how we got it here in America, my people. That's how we got it. That's how we got it in the diaspora. It's not easy on us. It's not easy on us. So every time somebody sends you a penny, every time somebody sends you $1 and you misuse that money, you are affecting somebody else's life. Your family members, people are dropping on the job and dying. People go to work and they can't make it back home because they were doing 3-4 jobs. Right? They're doing 3-4 jobs just to survive in America and in the diaspora, and they send you money. Instead of you saying, oh, let me go to school, you take that money and go party. You take that money now, you owe my sister in America, my brother in America, so now you can have 3, 4, 5 girlfriends, right? You buy the most expensive things. You buy anything that name brand. You cannot wear anything else. Docaflare, you can wear Docaflare, anything more. You can't go to Bend Down Boutique anymore. You only can wear expensive clothes. That's why we need to build trust between Liberians in the U.S., Liberians in the diaspora, and Liberians at home. Because in order for Liberia to rise, in order for Liberia to develop, we cannot only rely on government support. We cannot only rely on foreign aid. The aid that is coming from Liberians abroad is hardly enough for Liberia to do better. It's hardly enough for Liberia to. We are appealing to you guys. We are appealing to you guys to help us to make Liberia to do better. Guys, let me drink some water in a little bit. But if you want to participate in the conversation, please call in at 682-503-9906 or send me a video request and I will invite you to the show so we can discuss this. I don't know if I'm the only one that is going through this or if there's only something that I'm just talking about that is not true. In order for Liberia to rise, I believe that trust is very essential. And on a whole level, if we place trust in our family members, if we place trust into our politicians, if we place trust into the whole society as a whole, it has to be trust at every level of society in order for Liberia to rise. So please, let me play some music quick while we. Okay. You be up.
Anything you want buy.
You be up.
Even the food you want eat.
You be up.
But the man you want see.
You be up.
And the hope on the second.
You be up.
There's a reference that you see up. Transportation that you ready up. So, every food is that you see up. We want to leave a clean precedent. A God-fearing person with a Christian principle. Whether you rich or you poor, you not no book, it doesn't matter how you look. We're not asking for presidential degree, like the one I can find to do the plenty of CD. You want anyone with bad connections, support their war or even broad combination. We did not typical Liberian, with that clean hand, with the love of the motherland. the belly. Open your eyeball when you go with the belly. Look who on the good for you kissy man, so you put for kissy man. I talk a little bit all that team by la skin. Jenny, find it on the two best. If you want to be rough, yeah, then we discuss. See, all the way we not playing. I want the love, make a daily to relay. They want each of the little elbow. While the poor people get someone to slip it in the cold. And y'all was thinking when you up, you up. Now we going way up, nobody can even up. Show me your friend, I will tell you who you are. Like, oh, why in you bottle that belly, my belly, you be up. Anything you want buy, you be up. Even the food you want eat, you be up. Ready? On your application, everything flying delicate. The government office they have to control over press. They government can eat the best. We go in the bring a goose and territory up for her press. They just talking about human right every day. We are here for making never implementing. The people never said in the suffering. They looking for your lady. They do what they see. There's so much every boss in Pakana. Medication, so much in class up here.
Mr. Man, welcome to Liberia Shall Rise, brother.
Yeah, Mr. Keller, how are you, my brother?
I'm doing all right, man. Doing all right. Just trying to talk about what we can do to help our country get better. So, thank you for joining me. What's your topic? Do you think that because it's essential to the rise of Liberia?
Oh, we're talking about trust, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think trust is an essential things in any country development because if you trace the history of our country and where we are today, I can tell you that one of the major reasons we are not where we're supposed to be on the international stand in the side of the rest of the African country because of lack of trust. Because like at the end of the day, government play a major development every country development. And over the past time, we are saying that the people have lost trust in the leadership of their country, meaning that people who are put in the leadership position most of the time do not live up to the people's expectation. So this time politics have become like everybody just go there and steal what you can steal and leave. So that lack of trust has like denting the Liberian culture. And because almost every Liberian is part of Liberian culture, they find it difficult for individuals to develop because they don't know who to trust if even they're trying to invest. They find it difficult because an individual can help the contribute to the development of his country, but at the same time, he cannot do everything alone.
Not really.
You need people to work with. And if he cannot have people to, if he cannot trust people, it becomes difficult for him to carry on that development. And we are seeing it with the banking system in Liberia, although we don't have credit rating in Liberia, but we understand that the bank always complain that if they give the Liberian man money for business, the return on their investment is like low. Most of the time, they don't pay the bank back. They mismanage the money or they use it personally. So everything have a negative impact on our country.
Yeah.
So we try everyone to see how best we can help our country. As an individual, we need to start creating that environment that people can start trusting us, and we need to start working hard enough because we cannot say we cannot trust the government if the government say cannot trust us.
Yeah.
Or if our own girlfriend or wife or brother and sister cannot trust us because everything starts from the family.
Yeah.
So if you have a lack of trust as an individual, nobody's going to give you any responsibility to do anything. And if you cannot get responsibility, just how you will be lacking in development is just how the country, the community will be lacking in development. So trust is very essential as we go through our development project.
You can thank you for your input, brother. And you know, like I always tell somebody, I don't know if you remember when we were back in ETSU. One of the reasons I was saying that I wanted to pack up and move to Liberia because of the same trust issue. I felt like even people in the diaspora right now, there's so much of a problem that people don't want to send money home anymore. You want to build a house, you have to travel every year, spend $2,000 to travel and spend maybe $5,000 on your house, right? And then come back. Whereas if you have really family members that you could trust, you could spend that $5,000, $7,000, and say, all right, I'm going to give you maybe $500. Use the $6,500 to build my house, right? But the fact that people are having this mistrust, like where you send money for even people to buy your land, you know, one of my callers the last time said land, even the land allocation, where people are selling land double, triple, right? That is not good for us in the diaspora because you pay money for somebody to buy you land, then they go and resell the land 10 different times to other people. You know, and then when you go home not thinking you're going to build your house on a land, you don't have that land available. You know, so this is very painful and sad for us that are in the diaspora. And I tell you right now, I have a deed in my house. In my house, I started something on our house, on our land, but because I didn't finish it up to today, when I went back Liberia, I went to check that my name wasn't on the cornerstone anymore, right?
Wow.
Even though I had that structure standing there, but my name wasn't on the cornerstone. You know, so this is sad, brother. Again, I'll let you give another thought, and then we can see if we can bring more people on too. But
as I said earlier, we can shape blame on government whatever we want to shape blame on government. But like the example you gave is like a pretty good example. We need to start trusting ourselves, like I said, from the family level. I remember sometimes people don't normally teach their children how important trust is. Because I tell people, if you cannot trust somebody, how can you say you love the person?
mhm.
It's difficult. So it's like if we cannot trust ourselves, how can we do help develop our country? How can we say we love our country? Can people like sit down by themselves and research their heart and be like, oh, if I'm selling like two, three land, the one part, this one land, the three, four person, what a negative impact it has on my community? What a negative impact do it have on my country? I know everybody think about self benefit, but they don't think the impact of their action. So sometimes we need to like sit in our little corner and understand the impact of our action. Then I think when we start researching ourselves, then we can start pointing our finger. We can say, oh, it's always the government situation. Although sometimes it may be the government situation, but if I cannot sell a press of rice to my brother who's just depending on a cup of rice to go and eat, if I cannot sell that cup of rice to him fairly, how do I think like I want the country to benefit? There's nothing in it, but a little thing I can do, it can help the country to benefit. Even if I'm selling in the street, if I be sincere in what I sell in the street, it may help somebody.
Yeah,
But if I always think of myself that greed, I may be causing more bigger problem for the society because if I'm selling a candy, if I cannot be trusted selling a candy, what happens if I got a store or if I be some big position in the office? I carry that same attitude with me.
mhm.
So the generation at certain age, is nothing really we can do. We can talk, but we need to talk to family because that's what the society is built from.
Yeah, yeah,
Like that is start training the children how the importance of trust because our generation will go away, but the upcoming generation, what we teach them, what they see is what they're going to do. So I think we need most of the time we discussing most especially on this issue. We know deal with from the family level because like I said, the seed start growing for summer before
yeah.
it came up. If the seed is not well cultivated at a lower stage where it grown, there's nothing you can do to change that.
Yep.
So at the family level, we need to instill that discipline. It's not just if you're Christian, it's not just about going to taking the children to church. If you're Muslim, it's not just about taking the children to the mosque. But every family has social responsibility to the country in which they live and which they serve, and the community which they serve, because we will see that we have no impact. That's how many of the time Liberian people see of that what impact I got. But the later you do, the best way you bring a child up,
Mhm.
that child become positive in the house, and that child grow in society, because we don't know what that child may be. That child may be president, that child may be minister, that child may be representative, that child may be businessman.
Yeah.
That child may say, "Oh, I'm getting like $1 million profit." But because I love my country, because I love my church, let me cut that $1 million profit down to $200 to $300 that will benefit more people instead of me just doing things that will benefit my one. So we need to start, as I said, we need to start instilling that discipline with our children. I tell people, both those the adult now that well developed and stand for principle, they not just did it on their own. They did it because the way their parent brought them up.
Mm-hmm.
So if the next generation, if the family like around the world like Liberia, if it wants to start helping like Liberia, we need to start instilling trust into our kids.
All right. Thank you so much. That was an excellent point again. Thank you so much for coming in, and I appreciate your input and your honest contribution. So please share the video, invite your friend, tell them say that the pastor say we need trust in order for Liberia to rise. So please pass the message on, brother, and thank you. You have a great weekend.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right. All right. All right, folks. There you have it. That was my own brother, Mr. Mannion, calling in from New York. Again, like I said, in order for Liberia to rise, right, we cannot just continuously blame the government. We cannot just continuously blame those in office. I believe in order for Liberia to rise, at every level of society, we have to deal with some of these little things, because the government doesn't have enough money to say, I'm going to ensure that all Liberians are taken care of 100%, right? So realistically, if you look at it, the power of the diaspora Liberian, right? The power of individual Liberians is very key in the rise of Liberia. So I'm saying, besides the fact that the government need to fulfill its promises, or the government need to be trusted, besides the fact that the civil servants needs to be trusted, the common people need to be trusted as well. They need to build trust such that when people send you money, Liberians in the diaspora, when we send you money, you need to fulfill your promise of doing what you have to do. When we send you money to buy land for us, you need to fulfill that promise. When we send you money and you say you're going to school, you need to go to school. So again, these are some of the little things that we need for our society to do better. Even if you go to the office to go to work, when you sign in at 8 a.m., you are paid to work 8 to 5. You have to stay there till you are finished your work from 8 to 5. So that is another thing that trust has to do with, because if you don't work for the time you are being paid for, it become a problem. The government is spending a lot of money and is not getting no result from your effort. That's why when we have a situation like you go to the Ministry of Health for document, it takes you almost a month and a half to get a simple document, because people come in and they sign out. They just sign in the office and they go on wherever they take government transportation to drive to their boyfriends, to their girlfriends, and go and do things. These are things that are impacting the society. These are things that are affecting the society at every level. So I'm begging you guys, trust is very key if Liberia should rise. Trust is very important if Liberia should rise. Trust is very key to the society, that if your family members in the diaspora, if they send you money to buy a house or to build a house, please build that house for them. If your family in the diaspora send you money or they send you a car to sell, don't use the car and say, oh, the car broke down. Don't use the car and then come back and say, oh, they stole the car. Or don't sell the car, eat the money and say, oh, somebody stole the car. You know, these are all the things that are impacting the growth of our society. So we need to change these things in order for Liberia to rise, in order for Liberia to prosper, in order for Liberia to develop. We need to change these things because these are the major things that are impacting our society today. And I feel in order for Liberia to rise, in order for Liberia to prosper, we need to start making these great changes in our society. So again, welcome to Liberia Shall Rise. This is Stephen E. Keller, aka Dr. Positive. Today's topic is trust and the rise of Liberia. I have one question. I said, do you think trust is essential in the rise of Liberia? Do you think our public servants should be trusted for the responsibility that have been placed in their hand? Do you think that there should be trust between Liberians in the diaspora and Liberians at home? Now it's 12 o'clock, folks. I would like to come to an end of the show. If you want to participate, I can give you guys another 5 minutes. The number to call in is 682-503-9906, or you can send me a video request and I will add you on the video. You can come in on video. Today's topic is just something to kind of understand what are some of the problems that are affecting our country. What are some of the key things that are impacting our society? You know, because in order for our society to do better, we cannot just continuously blame the government for everything that is happening in the society. We cannot blame the government for everything. Even though it's important that the government is trusted, even though it's important that the government keep its promises. If the government keep its promises and say, I'm going to pay all my employees, it is your responsibility as an employee to go to work 8 to 5 and stay there and work as you're supposed to work for the government to get the benefit of what they are paying you for. So in that way, that's also trust. You have to be trusted for what you are being paid for, or you have to accomplish the promise for what you are being paid for. So in order for Liberia to rise, I believe personally, from the bottom of my heart, that trust has a key thing to play in the rise of Liberia. Now, Adam Smith says something, and I will pass this on to you guys as I close. He said to feel much for others and little for ourselves, to restrain our selfishness, and to exercise our benevolent affections constitute the perfection of human nature, right? He said to feel much for others and little for ourselves, to restrain our selfishness and exercise our benevolent affections constitute the perfection of human nature. I'll break that down in simple English. For example, if somebody sent you money, or if the government, for example, let me start with the government. If the government pay you $75 to work from 8 to 5, you come to work, you have to stay to work from 8 to 5 and make sure that every hour that you are there is something you are doing to benefit the government, right? That's one level of trust, right? And that's selfishness. You care, that you feel for the government and feel like if I work for the government, things are going to get accomplished. People will get a birth certificate. People will get a health certificate. People will get a driver license. So that's one level. You work. If you are paid, you work and fulfill your promise as civil servants. Secondly, right, feeling for others. If somebody send you money from the U.S. to Liberia and say, my brother, I'm thinking about coming home, or I just want to have a vacation home in Liberia. I'm going to start sending you maybe $500 every month for you to build me a house. I need a 3-bedroom house. Please send me how much it will cost me for me to get the architectural drawing done. The person send you the money. You say it costs $2,000 to get an architectural plan. The person send that $2,000. Now, the thing costs maybe $700. That's breaking trust right there, right? You took $2,000 from your family member and you pay $700 for that thing. That's breaking trust. Now, secondly, after taking that money, the next time, you send in the drawing, the people build it, they start, you tell them, now they're starting to build a house, but we need $500 to buy 100 bags of cement. They send you $500, you don't buy 100 bags of cement, you buy 1 bag of cement, right? And eventually, over time, this person keeps sending you money, and at the end of the day, you don't build a house for the person. My people, that's selfishness. That's selfishness at the level of, I don't know how to describe it. Even if you got penalized and you go to hell, God won't, Satan even don't have a space for you if you treat somebody like that at that level. If you are so selfish to treat your family member at that level, even Satan down in hell, I don't think he will have a space for you at that level if you start treating your family members like that. So we need to build that trust. We need to build that trust so that in order for Liberia to rise, all these little money that are sent from abroad, all this little money that even the government pay to people, it is important. In order for Liberia to rise, we need to have trust. I cannot stress this any longer, but I just want you to know that there is not a special Liberia for our Bassa people. There is not a special Liberia for our Kru people. There is not a special Liberia for all our diverse ethnicities. There is only the Republic of Liberia that we all stand on, right? So it is important for us to unite and for a better future for Liberia. Let's unite as we continue the discussion. You know, someday my dream for Liberia to rise is for me to be part of that process. For me, not only to stand here in America and talk about the rising of Liberia, I want to be on the ground to be part of that process and pray that God give me the wisdom and strength and the finances to be able to make it back home. You know, and finally, as I close, I would like to end with my special prayer. I said, dear Lord, please help. Anyway, before I go into this, let me not be selfish. Wherever you are, I want us to come in one accord, right? In order for Liberia to rise, we have to have one voice. So I just want you to do this prayer with me, wherever you are. I said, dear Lord, please help Liberia to rise. Please help Liberia to rise and make me to be an integral part of this process. Dear Lord, please make Liberia one of the best places for its people and visitors. Oh, dear Lord, please let Liberia rise over land and over seas. And amen. Amen. I'm getting into the spirit now, but let me end the show here, my people. I said, thank you for joining me today. Again, this is your host, Stephen E. Keller, a.k.a. Dr. Positive. I'm here every Saturday at 11 a.m. I try to do it an hour if I don't have a guest, depending on the show. How people are calling in, we take it to 2 hours. But since we don't have a lot of guests on today, we'd like to end here. And I want to thank you all for continuously supporting me. I have my secret admirer out there. Please continue to admire this show secretly. Just share once in a while to help me to gain more audience, because these messages are what is key for our society to develop. These kind of messages are essential for Liberia to rise, because we need to build a society that is trustworthy. We need to build a society in which our people are trusted. We need to build a society in which our citizens are dependable. We need to build a society in which our government officials are dependable. Again, this is the doctor himself, Dr. Positive, signing off. You have a great weekend. We will be here next Saturday, hopefully at 11 o'clock. If not, if something changed, I'm going to let you guys know. But hopefully you guys have a great weekend. I hope and pray that God bless you and God continue to grant you wisdom and understanding. Thank you. You have a great weekend.